the new president of Signal straight up said in another article that Signal has no plans of dropping the phone number requirement. Like, yes, they're planning to roll out usernames, allegedly, someday before Jesus comes back. They've straight up said, like, Signal is still going to require a phone number in order to fight spam. So you'll be able to use usernames instead of giving people your phone number, which is great, but there's no dropping the phone number requirement, just to clarify that. I keep hearing people say that, and that's not going to happen.
I did want to clarify the username thing because that's a very, like, misunderstood thing for people. I don't think Signal's ever going to remove the phone number requirement. That's like, the whole point of Signal is to replace things like SMS. That's the point of Signal. In order to do that, in this day and age, everything is phone number based. That's the way people communicate. If you meet some new person on the street, you're either asking them for a social media handle or you're asking them for a phone number. You don't ask for their email. And you don't ask them for their session ID. So, like, everything right now is based on the phone number, and I think Signal's going to stay that way. Everyone is talking about how this attack would have never happened if Signal would have rushed to get rid of the phone numbers by now. So, yeah, like, fair. I'm also on that boat too. I tell people Signal is probably the best messenger you can be on in this day and age. Overall, like, regarding usability, privacy and security, like, just an overall best balance. But I'm still on the page of them needing to get rid of that phone number requirement. And this attack, I really hope bites them in the ass enough to really, like, prioritize that. I'm on the page of this should have never happened because Signal should have dropped phone numbers by now. And I think up until this point, Signal's been like, yeah, phone numbers are fine. And I think they are fine, especially for discoverability and for usability because everyone knows what phone numbers are. But now we're seeing stuff like this. And I'm like, I think it's really time now to cut the phone number.
No, I agree with you. I think for most people it's probably not a big deal, but I don't think they should be mandatory. And they've been promising usernames since freaking dinosaurs walked the earth, man. So yeah, they really need to get off their... Not saying that they're not doing anything else, but, you know, they really need to prioritize that and do that because they've been promising it forever. One of her first acts this week was to say that they hope to have usernames rolled out by early 2023. That's a big promise. I know that's something everyone's been screaming for years, us at Surveillance Report included. So if she actually delivers on that, that'll be a huge point in her favor. I'm very hopeful, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll eat those words. I'll admit that. Time will tell, but so far, this seems really promising.
I think everyone is kind of excited about it, but also we're still waiting for, like, a username setup so that you don't have to even rely on phone numbers in the first place. But also, like, we still like to criticize services when it's needed, but at the end of the day, Signal is just a fantastic service for a lot of things, and it fits a lot of threat models very nicely, but we still think that it would be fantastic for them to drop their phone number requirement. By the way, we've actually seen a few comments of people who are like, this show is just shilling Signal. First off, we're not paid anything to talk about Signal. Either way. Like, Signal is a massive non-profit organization. Like, we have nothing to do with Signal. Guys, math. It's math. Encryption is math.
Yes, but I don't understand math. I'm bad at it.
True, but, like, people can prove math, and you can trust the people who are able to verify that. So when people spout BS, like Signal is compromised, you're effectively saying that math isn't real. At the end of the day, like, at least the encryption side of Signal, right? Like, you can go ahead, but even, you know what, even the phone number is hashed. Like, so technically speaking, Signal doesn't quite know everyone's phone numbers, but people also dismiss that. Trying to, like, get factual with people who believe these things is very difficult, but it's the same thing with Proton Mail. People who think Proton Mail can read your emails, you're effectively saying that math just isn't math at that point. It applies to everything. People are like, Signal's compromised because they require a phone number. And it's like, let's just ignore literally every freaking legal request that's been sent to Signal that only came back with the information Signal promised to give them. However, the problem with the light phone is kind of the same problem with a lot of flip phones, which is it doesn't give you many options for encrypted communication. You're kind of stuck with SMS and just generic phone calls. So for me, Signal is just a basic requirement for any phone I'm looking at, and the light phone doesn't give that to me, so I can't use the light phone, even though I really wish I could. Yeah, and also, and here we go, people are gonna be like, Signal fanboys, because people think we're Signal fanboys, and it's like, no, it's because it's proven. People think that, like, we shill Signal back here, which, yes, I kind of do, but also, like, I feel like I give Signal the amount of
love that it deserves, and I also crap on it when it deserves crap.
You know, this isn't rocket science, and things can be free without a huge number of gotchas, kind of like this video. I mean, you're probably watching this for free, and it's brought to you thanks to people on our Patreon, people who give us Monero, our sponsors, LibraPay, merch, our Go Incognito course. Like, all of these things are the reason why we can give you free videos, and so if it wasn't for those people, we couldn't give you this free content.
And then Caption 8169 asked about security for like banks and brokerage accounts, and we will probably get back to that in just one short. So we'll probably have 3 shorts this upcoming week before we come back next week for the next surveillance report 131.
It never happened. It never happened.
What do you think about like channels that post like negative content about Techlore?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like expected when we're this big.
There's a lot of haters.
Right, especially in the privacy community. Like, the privacy community is just filled with kind of like nonsense, a lot of it. And that, not all of it, but a lot. Like, I just see a lot of nonsense, and like, I don't know, like every creator has to deal with hater content, so us as well. I just published a blog post yesterday that kind of talks about like how we've made mistakes in the past and how we're going to keep making mistakes in the future because of the way that we do things. And even if we didn't do things the way we do things, there's always going to be that problem where like content becomes outdated, no one's perfect, people are always going to make mistakes. I feel like we've been pretty fair about things. I feel like we have all like, we've done everything we can. Like, we unlist old content that's like damaging.
You know, there's some points of the video where Techlore is criticizing McKay for being abrasive towards companies like Signal and some of those other ones. And you're allowed to be abrasive if you want. He's never like toxic like they claim, which is ironic because if we look at this Techlore video, you can see Techlore really kind of started to realize the bad light that he was put in was actually true. And it's kind of funny. If you look at this video, the video has this little thumbnail of this Rick and Morty guy looking kind of crazy and insane, which is kind of where all the drama started in the first place. McKay really didn't like how these actors in the video were calling him autistic and kind of insinuating he was crazy. People who have autism, stuff like that, really don't want to be alienated like that. So Techlore made this thumbnail and it was really toxic. And now you could see the thumbnail is clearly changed. I don't know when he changed this, but it kind of shows that he realized he did something wrong there. Not only that, but the title itself is changed as well. Aside from what it used to be called, you can see Graphene OS, the most toxic community. So Techlore definitely walked that back, and I don't think I've seen anyone call that out. Clearly shows that he was kind of in the wrong there.
We leave it public in an archive so you can still watch it. We publish like everything through like public protocols, including a changelog of all these changes that we make to our content. We also publish everything open source when we can. Like, I don't know what else we could do. So if you don't like it, then screw off. If you like it, then welcome. I don't really know what else to say. Like, that's really it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from my point of view, like, especially even with haters that we get on privacy guides, for example, it's just, I can't pay attention to that. Like,
Right.
there's so many people who just want to chat on the internet, like, and I can't keep up with everything that they're saying about me all the time.
And what I don't understand is some of these people literally have no lives. Like they dedicate their entire life to just like hating, and it's like, what if you just like, if you have a disagreement with how things are done, do it yourself. Like do it yourself, and do it your own way. If you don't like how we talk about things or how we communicate things or what we recommend, then make your own thing with your own recommendations and why you think you're right. That's a much better use of time, and it's much better for the world. But I don't know. Like if I hate privacy guides, instead of, I don't understand this. I'm not going to go online and be like, I hate privacyguides.org. Haha, look at me. I'm going to be like, okay, I don't like this, so I'm going to create, I don't know, privacy tutorials. And here's why I am doing this my way. Here's why I don't agree with the things that other people are doing. It's just so simple. I don't know like why people don't see this as a problem, but whatever.
See, according to Cocteau's plan, I'm the enemy. Because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice.